Alright, so I'm going to do a video of how to remove your bottom bracket bearings and the cups, the bearing cups to your headset. So, I already have everything out, but I'll show you how I did it. Alright, well, let me set the camera down here. Well, first, you're going to need like 2 spots. I'm in my kitchen here, used my bench and the other part of the table there to support it, so that way the center is like in the air, you know, so that way the bearing can fall out when you knock it out, and it's just a lot easier like this. So I put towels down so I don't mess up the table and my bike. So let me set down the camera. Let me get it. Just like that. Well, that'd be good enough right there. Well, the only 2 things I used tool-wise was a ratchet extension, that, and a hammer. And what I did was, the bearings were just in here, you know. Now the first time was a little bit harder than the second time because you had to work around it like this and get through it. But after you get the first bearing out, you'll have the, if you flip the frame over, you'll have the hole there, and then you can just go like this on the edge of the bearing and just whack it a couple times and go around. Don't do it in one spot. You can do it here, then here. Keep going around until it pops out. Mine came out really easy. So you just hit it a bunch of times. I usually hit it like 3 times each spot, or just like one hard one. And then once you got one out, you flip it over, do the other one. You want to make sure 2 things. One, you want to, there's the little like the lip in there for the bearing to rest against. You want to make sure you're not hitting against that, possibly bending it or marking it up. You want to make sure you're actually on the bearing. So this is like mid BB, so some are different, some don't have them. But yeah, make sure you're not on that and make sure you're actually on the bearing. I just used this part to hit against the bearing and then this part for the hammer. So, and this is also probably, I know they make tools for it and everything, but if you're not planning on keeping the bearings, then it's just a perfect way to do it. I mean, they didn't even really damage my bearings anyways, so, but I need new ones anyways. So other than that, you want to put a paper towel or towel down on the bottom that you don't care about a rag, because they're going to be most likely greasy. You don't want to get grease everywhere, so I just put a paper towel down on the floor and let them drop onto that so I didn't have to clean up a lot of grease. And then for the headset bearing caps, or whatever you want to call them, right there, basically the same concept, except I have the frame. I still have my chain on here, so it's kind of annoying, but what I basically did was, how did I do this? I think it was like this, I think. Let me see. Alright. Just like that. Alright. And then, basically what I did was I sat on top of the frame and used my legs to support it on each side so it didn't fall to left or right. And with the one in there, they don't really get in the way. So there's one in there and there's one in the bottom. And you just do the same thing. Like that. These were a little bit harder to get out than the bottom bracket bearings, but they came out fairly easy. You might have to hit it a little harder. So you hit it a couple times. I went like 3 good whacks. Went to the opposite side, 3 good whacks. Went to the left, 3 good whacks. To the right, 3. And then I kept doing that around and around until I got the one popped out, and once again I put a rag down so it didn't grease everywhere. Then I flip the frame over. And just do the same thing. See, it wants to roll over and stuff, so that's why I sat on it to it doesn't want to stay up by itself. So I sat on it and like used my legs to support it, and did the same thing. And what I did to help me do it is when you're doing it, push it up against the part of the frame. Don't just try to freehand it like that, because then you have more like leverage tension on it, so that it doesn't want to slip off the lip of the cap. Like push it up against like that. You'll be fine. But yeah, you might have to use some like PB Blaster or something to help get them out if they're maybe old or just stuck or something. Don't use a rubber mallet because it just won't work at all. You'll be sitting there forever. So yeah, just basically use regular hammer. I'm sure you could find other stuff to use, but this I think works really good. So if you have one of these, use it. I didn't even like harm it at all, so if you're worried about harming your tools, you're not gonna mess it up at all. And that's pretty much it. So I'd show you actually how to do it, but you have to, all this stuff presses in. I just can't put it in there and show you how to take them out. I already took them out, so once I get the other stuff, I'll show you how to put them in. I'm going to make a homemade tool that I found out how to do online. So there's that. You can see there's nothing in there you have to worry about except for the holes. Oh yeah, that's one thing I should probably tell you. When you have this in here, make sure you're not in that hole. Like, let's see if I can get some light. Make sure you're not hammering on the hole. Probably won't do anything, but you're going to sit there forever wondering why it won't come out. So just make sure that you don't go in that hole. So other than that, that's pretty much it. So thanks, and subscribe and comment.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I made a video.